Coach.
Good. We've had kind of the last week, so don't see anything out of the better or worse. I mean, it's kind of our normal Tuesday, Thursday. We're lifting 4 days a week, 2 days a week doing some agility stuff. A couple days are doing some throwing on their own. And so it's kind of the last week. So glad you guys had a chance to see it. Appreciate you being here. It was good.
You talked a little at the end of last year about reevaluating everything. You mentioned strength and conditioning a little bit. Did you guys take any kind of different approach at all to off-season conditioning and working what you wanted out?
We haven't maybe done as much in the early part, Dustin. We didn't do as much early like heavy running so we could lift more. Like we just did some testing yesterday on the bench, and Mark don't have all those numbers yet. We've done pretty well, but just 225 reps, the bench and squat and clean maxes. I've got 4 guys now that are under their target weight for Friday is by a pound on the whole team. And we played our last game. We probably had 25 guys under weight we want you at. Just keeping your strength level, your size, and all that. So we're developing good. So we probably spent a little more time early on heavier lifting and some running. And because we had some coaching changes, we haven't done, maybe the offense has done a little bit more football. The defense maybe hasn't done as much on their own, because sometimes you'll let the kids do practices. We're kind of getting to that at the end of this week, going into spring ball.
So I guess there was an emphasis on just getting bigger. I mean,
yes.
You've done the first word Big Ten is big for a while, but what did you look and say, we weren't big enough, basically? Was that a thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, your ability to we ran the ball decent last year. We were 4th in the league, but competitive third down, short yardage plays, bigger tight ends, for goal line type. Obviously, one of the reasons we don't go to 2 and 3 tights is our talent hadn't been as strong, as good as you want there. We lose a couple big receivers. You got to develop the next crew of those guys. And the same thing defensively. You got 10 guys back, played 6-7 freshmen, 5 in the front end, and this is their first really off season. So there's a lot of gains and even Ralph Green year 2. So again, we had a freshman that's a skill player that went from benching 225 3 times to 7 times, and he doesn't come close to weighing 225. He's about 50-some pounds under. But that that's a jump. Now you do that next year, you're 11, 12, 13. The following year, it's a process. And so I think we've gotten bigger. Hopefully that translates into more physical play, better defensive play, better line of scrimmage play, better consistency on Oak. And then we've got so many players back. I think we'll have the most returning starters in the Big Ten, if I can believe the numbers I've been put in front of me. And I think it's 5th most in the country. Yeah, we've also got our 2 best recruiting classes of talent to work with. So a lot of returning vets, a lot of good-looking bodies to work with, and Coach Hill and his guys do a good job. Amy Friel's a part of it with the eating and our diet deal. So they just finished this workout. They're getting ready to have their second meal of the day prior to going to class. So to get them fed twice, we have 20 guys on Mondays have issues getting lunch that they take a huge to-go thing with them for nutrition. So it's a total program deal, and it's not just Mark, it's not just the building, it's buy-in. I think we're bigger. Our numbers say we're bigger. Our weight goals, and some of these weight goals too, guys, are not this is where we want you, this is where we want you by now. We want you somewhere else maybe by August, and maybe somewhere else 2 years from now, as you continue the process of developing the kid.
Have you ever had this, they talk about having target weights. Is this kind of a new thing in itself?
No. We do it every year.
Okay. Are you asking them to get, are there bigger
It's
jumps?
realistic. To me, it's real. To me, you don't say gain a pound a week.
Right.
Like you sit there and drink a bunch of water, like the wrestlers can go cut a bunch of water just to make the weigh in that day, or boxers, the same deal. So it's not about that. It's just, to me, you're looking at, let's say you got a receiver weighing 180 pounds or a DB weighing 180. Can I get you to 185, 86, 87 by next season? And then next year you're 190, 92. If you put it on too fast, it's not strong. It's bad weight, it slows you down. So to me, it's a 1, 2, 3-year process. It's incremental. You take a bench, a kid comes in benching 250, and you get him 275 or 80 in a year. 3 years later, he's 350, 375. It takes 3 or 4 years to get there. But we've been doing weight gains. We have strength goals. We have body fat goals. We have bod pod. They're all tested on bod. What's your bone density, your lean mass, all that stuff. And we have target goals. And we track it, and then we reward it.
With the shift in the defensive scheme, what have guys really been on the defense been able to work on, since that's such a practice field kind of?
Yeah, we can only do what you saw today and some of the agility stuff, and then it's they get about an hour-ish of video because we're allowed 8 hours. You can use 2 hours of video, but we typically use about 7 hours on the field, so we only get 1 hour.
Yeah.
And so they get a couple meetings. So that being said, it's why we haven't done as much kids versus kids, and just kind of went a little bit slower. We've had guys catching a bunch of balls and tennis balls, throwing on their own, but not competition. So, and the real deal, I don't think it's going to be a huge change of alignment as much as just things that are emphasized, and maybe the language or the communication setup and all that deal. So that being said, it's kind of hard to do, but we transition starting after tomorrow into Thursday. We really start transitioning for practice on Saturday. So there'll be a little bit more legal meeting time as we lead into our first day of practice.
How have some of the early enrollees been doing?
Not bad, it's pretty tough. So just your strength level, your skill set. The freshmen that are here all basically had June and July. They had all the two-a-days. If they didn't play in games, they were having extra lifting on Thursdays and Fridays because they didn't have a game to prep for. So they're a little bit more used to the grind of the workouts and the intensity level. So they've all done well, but there's different skill sets. Linemen are always going to struggle. We got a couple 3-0 linemen, so they're going to struggle just with stamina. The young guy, the skilled guys typically are going to run pretty good, but not have the strength level, the older strength guys. So if you ask them, they'd each have their different opinions of, I like this, I don't like this, or I'm good at this and not, but they're all going to be solid adds, and I'm really excited because, again, I think the class is good with bodies to work with. So I don't know how much you're going to see of this class year 1, but year 2 and 3, some of these kids with their length and getting Jordan Fuchs at 225-30 who can run well. I think you probably saw that today, getting him to 240, 45, 50. He showed up at 218. I think he's 226 right now, and that's moving in the right direction.
Going back on the defense real quick, I mean, when Kenny, you sat down with Coach Noor, what are his ideas in terms of what he's got personnel-wise and how that can translate to what he likes to do?
Oh, I don't know if he knows that yet. You kind of watch last year's tape, but you don't know. And that's one of the reasons we're doing the 4 practices before spring break, is then to give them a time to collectively catch their breath and analyze things that they need to emphasize or not emphasize, or position tweaks, and maybe this person should be here, or maybe we need to practice more of these things. We're not good at this, we are good at this. So that's one of the reasons for the 4 practices before. We almost, with the coaching changes, talked about putting those practices after spring break, and then we need more coach prep time. And after we got everybody in place and talked about it, they preferred to practice so then they can watch. I mean, to say right now we're going to tell a guy to play a certain spot. I don't know if he's got enough football information to make those. So I think those first 4 days are going to be probably more for him and Coach McDaniel and Coach Joseph and Coach Jens and Shelby, all of us, to kind of just eval where we're at. We got a lot of guys back, so we don't lose a lot on defense. So the numbers are good. I think we've got 63 scholarship players here and 41 walk-ons. So we got 104 guys. So we'll have enough bodies to practice in a good way, and I think it'll be up to them to judge. If the problems we had have been judging wrong, playing a guy corner and then moving him to safety, playing a guy outside linebacker, moving to inside line, playing a guy DN, moving to tackle. My thing, if we're fortunate, do a good job, can we eval properly and start sticking them in the proper places as they want to move forward? And I'm looking, to me, the first 4 practices of not here's exactly what we're doing. Here's things we're going to emphasize, whether it be just body language, communication, non-schematics. There's a way you play that has nothing to do with schematics than what the play calls. And what so what are we going to? I told you, make sure we emphasize. I think the worst thing we can do is emphasize scheme. Don't get good at getting off blocks and tackling, keeping leverage on the ball, having good eye discipline, and have gap structure discipline, get lined up where we need to. So we will take the offense, because I think the offense needs to work a lot on physical toughness and consistency, developing the receiver position, getting some consistency and quality strong play at quarterback. And that being said, I think the offense can get to the 3rd and 5th chapter day 1. The defense can't. We're not going to get the offense at that chapter. We're going to slow back and get some basics for the offense so they can, I think, hopefully have more consistency and get the defense up to speed. Because I'm worried we could practice in a way that messes the defense up, because the offense can get to so many formations, so many personnel groupings, so many multiple things, and the defense has got day 1. So it's day 1 of the 4th year for one group, snap count language signals. Right. It's day 1 for the other group. So we're going to slow down and work more about that than what's the scheme going to be or who's going to be where. So the first 3 or 4 days will be attitude, effort, simple fundamentals that we're going to hang our hat on. That I think offensively, we established that. Defensively, I don't think I missed there in getting that done.
As far as some of the guys who were banged up last year, do you expect some of them to be?
Well, they're all going to go in some way. I don't think there's anyone not going. It's just is Antonio cleared to do individual, or when's he free for 11 or 11? Same with Dan Feeney coming off his foot. Kaminsky got it. Wilson Evans got an injury, a little leg injury. They're all, you see them doing things today. So they're going to be, maybe they're in individual drills, maybe they're in non-tackle drills. And so they're all going to have some limitations. And what we'll do, I think probably Friday, is we'll come out with, again, here is the calendar of practices. Do we have practices that we say are open besides spring game? And also just an update of the current roster, that you guys will have as we go into spring ball. And with that, the guys that might have some limitations. But I think we got enough walk-ons and enough guys back. We're not going to have, we're going to be more than 2 deep, O-line, D-line, receiver, DBs, backers. And we don't have a group that we got issues that we can practice in the proper way.
How about Kevin? You okay?
Yeah, he just got one of those kind of deals where he kind of locked up there. He was back good. So.
You mentioned quarterback real quick. How are you looking to approach that, I guess, this time?
Well, again, I mean, it kind of is what it is now, because if you watch them, in our opinion, their body work, they're different, but their performance levels are kind of very similar. And so in a perfect world, you'll have one guy that we didn't last year. Wasn't by design. They're a part of the answer, part of the problem. But they also, led the conference in touchdowns, or points, and I think they're the first 2 quarterbacks in the history of the game where 2 quarterbacks accounted for 20. That's never happened. You guys missed this, so I jump on them or not yet? Yeah, touchdowns. One accounted for 20 and one accounted for 20 in the history of the game. So we got a lot of problems quarterbacking well. We score points. Our offense does okay. 2 really good ones. And they're
15 passing.
15, both had 15 passes. So they're good. But I mean, I know they want to be the guy, but to me, the guy, and the only thing I can say when I talk to them is we try to be fair. Like we're sitting there looking at everything you do, and in fairness, we're trying to have a fair competition. Last year, Cam decided to move on. We liked him. Now there's 2. We need to bring Diamond along. We need to bring Nate Boutreau to be the other guy that makes some walk-ons. So we'll see. I mean, right now we kind of go in. It's kind of all battles are open. So whether you started as Spriggs or you got 10 starters, to me, I don't know if we got 10 starters back on defense. We have 10 guys that start 10 games. But when your defense is played very poorly, I'd like to think all positions are open. They better be. And some of those guys need to get out there and start playing better for us. So to me, that's the way we've always done things in spring. There's no entitlement, no guarantees. We'll practice hard, we'll practice fair, go earn your job, go earn the right to play, earn the right to get the ball, earn the right to get on the field. Be a good team leader, be a good teammate. I think you'll see some freshmen in the mix that weren't last year, like Dutra and Chris Smith. You'll see bigger roles out of Danny Fran, if Fuchs getting here at tight end. Ray Smith, you like to think you're going to get some mileage with the speed. Fant, Padmore, a lot of those guys you got a lot of those young guys played, and a lot of them didn't because we had so many guys back. So hopefully if recruiting's done better, you're going to see like we just recognized Fant and Dutra and Chris Smith as 3 guys that were the best workout players from a week ago as far as their efforts and workouts. So you'll see a bunch of those guys.
Coach, will the possibility of this new proposed rule for the snapping the ball, will that change how you guys practice at all?
I thought they're supposed to have a final deal before spring ball.
Oh, okay.
So I thought about a 6th here, maybe not, because it would affect maybe the way you practice. Now, to me, seldom is the ball ever snapped inside of 10 seconds, because the ball's got to be tackled inside the hash, and the umpire put it down, and you not substitute. Once the ball gets outside the hash, it takes mechanics. Like we actually, once the ball gets outside the hash, we typically give them a new ball. If it's inside the hash, we don't. So, because you rotate your balls to kind of keep them dry and all that. So I think last year we averaged about 20 seconds on average. Someone said, I think potentially there's 4 times a game, 5 times a game. It happens under 10. There's just, if it's player safety, then player safety goes in the last 2 minutes, not just till 2 minutes. Now the game's more important, player safety. You got 25-second clock. If the clock stopped, 40-second running. What if it's 40 seconds and we substitute at 32 seconds? Now can you snap it at 29? You got to stand over the ball. You can also do, like Auburn does a great job. We do the same thing. Do a little monkey huddle and kind of stand around the group and wait. Because all it is just the ability to process. And you know your plays, you want the defense to react and have less reactionary time. Like I said a year ago, you know, most defenses want you to be a deer sitting in a brook and they're in a tree stand 20 feet away. I want to be windy day, across the hill, running, galloping, and I'm a moving target and there's distraction. You know, and so there's a little bit of that. I like Coach Rodriguez's speed video he put out yesterday. I thought it was really awesome. I don't know if you saw that one, it was really good. I thought that was outstanding. Made my day.
You mentioned the race.
But I mean, to me, you adapt to it. Offense has advantage. Defense can move around. Defense has the sidelines as defenders. You know, the defense can. Offense knows the play. Offense knows the snap count. And the referees control. I mean, we actually, like we know some referees work faster than others. So we purposely just wait to call our plays. You know, so like I say, you know, we'll adjust to whatever it is. We'll still try to use certain things that are to your advantage. But we need to develop consistency, toughness, and defense more than the tempo of play. I'm
Mitch,
more
Mitch
worried
LeRae
about that
Smith.
than snap counts.
Were you guys able to get a redshirt year for him?
Who's this?
LeRae Smith.
I think that's in the process of
Oh, okay.
of the Big Ten. I think there's a timeline they got to go through it. It's not my call, and it's not, you know, the conference looks at all those, and it's a non-biased party says yes or no.
Real quick, you said Chris Smith. He moved to safety, right?
We're looking at it. We're looking at it there to see, just because of that is one of the positions. It was a little, we'll have some limitations. Murphy has a shoulder thing,
Right.
and Antonio's leg. So, but he's, you know, I'm gonna say I think he popped out about 20 on the bench yesterday, 225, and he can run, but it's different running. You know, when you're
Right.
here versus you're backing up. So we've worked him there starting at the end of last season. We're going to start him there, and we'll see if he can get the mix. He's very smart. He's got a skill set. He's just played more closer to the line of scrimmage. What else?
Good.
No Masters updates?
None.
Is your back tight?